No, not November. It's not a trend. It's actual reality. It's time for you to wake up. Every single year, bro. You're so excited. You got so much energy, enthusiasm. To start day one all the way to day 30, and if you're accomplished, if you're successful. But unfortunately, that's not the case. You're not successful. You're not accomplished. Even if you get to 30 days, you go back to your bullshit again. Eating junk food, intoxication, blowing your seed away like a donkey. Blowing your seed away like a donkey. All these, you haven't got a sleeping schedule. You see? So you're wasting your time, your energy, your existence. You're back to that bullshit again. What happened to No Not November? I thought that's the start of your self-improvement journey. What happened? That's why it's not a trend. No November, aka semen retention. Because this right here is a facade, it's an illusion. Everyone to know No Not November. That is all a trend. But in the reality, it's semen retention. Semen retention is a lifestyle. It's not something that you do that you do for fun. It's not a game. It's very, very serious. You see, I can tell you from my semen retention journey, it's been it's been a very successful one. A lot of up and downs, a lot of lessons learned. That is the reality. So when you're blowing seed away, they actually realize what you're doing to yourself. You're wasting the vitamins and minerals out of your body. You are killing your drive, your motivation. Your mindset. You're struggling to be productive. You're procrastinating. You feel with anxiety, a lack of confidence, faith, self-belief. You basically are your masculine frame. And that happens when you play around with your sexual energy. You're out of your masculine frame. To reach your highest and to become a godlike self, you have to be staying seed. Because what does it say in the scriptures is that God wants His creation to be pure. That goes for both men and women. God wants you to be pure. But you blowing your seed away like a donkey, washing corn, that's not living pure. You're dirty. You're mentally, physically, and spiritually dirty. Very. That's why it's not a game. That's why No Not November is not a trend. So it's time for you to wake up. That's the consequences of you blowing your seed away. That's why I'm making this video. So they have to transform, and the way you transform is that No November. You have to understand is that if it's just new to you, you have to make sure that way you call it. Yeah, you have to write down a piece of paper. Why do you want to do it? What's the purpose of it? Okay, I want to do it to improve my mental health. You want to do it to be fit and strong. You want to do it to be productive as possible. Strong, powerful reasons possible. If you say you just want to do it, you just hop in on a trend, and before once over, whether you're done 30 days or not, once over, you'll go back to your bullshit again. A waste of time of 30 days waste of your time. 30 days. You paid with your time. That's why it doesn't make sense. So it's your call. You have to decide. As I said, it's not something to play with, and it's not a trend. You have to start with something of purpose, and then you go about doing it. That's the back of your mind. So every time lost temptation comes, and distractions come, you remind yourself, yo, if I do this, my goal is this. If I do this, I'm not going to achieve my goal. So that will get you thinking twice. You see? So what you're on day one, you go all day to day 30. But it's not about the days, it's making the days count. So you gotta have a schedule. You're waking up, you're taking a cold shower, you're meditating, you're reading a book, you go to the gym, you eat healthy, you sleep right. you work on you work a job, you study, you learn a skill. That's when you're making the most out of your time, making the most of your energy. You're transportating your sexual transportation. You're transportating the energy to create and manifest what you desire. Now you're making you're making use of your energy. But if you're doing for 30 days, but you're not doing nothing with that energy, it's a waste of time and energy, waste of time. If that's the case, stop doing it right now. Don't bother doing it. If you're on day 2, don't bother, stop doing it. You know, that is the reality. You have to make sure to make the most out of that energy that you got. To be the better version of yourself. Every day you gotta improve it by 1%. If not improving, then you're wasting your life away. That's the use of your sexual energy, your life force energy. If you didn't know, a drop of semen is like 120 miles. A drop of semen is like a drop of semen. It's way called it's you're wasting so much blood to either creating you create a produce a child, or you're building yourself to become the best version of yourself. Those are two purposes of No Nut November. Apart from that, it's absolutely no use. If it's not those two things that you're doing it for, then you're wasting your time. But again, it's your life, it's your choice. It's your life, it's your choice. So do not play games of what you're doing. Don't play games. I'll tell you from my knowledge and experience of what it's for. It's a great experience. There's a lot of benefits to it. When it comes to November, energy, focus, productivity. But productivity, inspire, motivating people. You feel good within yourself. You got faith and belief. You're in your masculine frame. Ultimately, you're in your masculine frame to conquer your life. So it's not something to play with. It's not something to play. I keep repeating saying it, but it's not something to play with. So make sure when you know November, now you understand the value of it, what to do, what not to be doing. If you'd like to learn more, how to cultivate your sexual energy to create and manifest what you want, then join the Infinite Potential community. Just check the link in the description and click the link and choose join Infinite Potential community. And that's it. I'll see you inside. So make sure to share this video to as many men as possible. A lot of men just doing it for a trend. They don't realize that is the pathway to be their godlike self. So like it, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.